Good morning, everyone. In the previous session, we have discussed the third life process, that is transportation in human being. Today, we will going to continue with the same topic. In the last session, in the transportation, we have seen that there are two basic type of transportation system which takes place within the human beings. First one is the blood circulation system, and the second one is lymphatic system, or we can say the lymph circulation system. In the blood circulation system, we have seen the components of the blood and the function of the blood. Now today we will understand the organ which is responsible for the transportation of blood, a kind of pump that is called the heart. So today we will learn to draw the diagram of heart. In the book, the diagram is already given, but it is given in some different way. I will draw over here the easy way diagram. If you want to learn and draw, you can draw like this. That want to draw in some other way, it is true, but the diagram must be descriptive, or you can explain the things that should look the diagram of heart. Okay, we'll start the drawing of start to draw the diagram of heart. This is the diagram of heart. Now we'll mark it. We'll start with the right side. As I'm standing over here, this is my right part. Like I said, only this one is the right part of the heart. So you have to write like that. Sometimes the students make mistake in right and left. So consider yourself and which way you are standing. This is your right side. So the diagram part, there must be a right side. So this one over here is called the right atrium. This is the left atrium. This is the right ventricle. This is the left ventricle. Now, as we know that our heart is of 4 chambers. Unlike other organisms, our heart is of 4 chambers. Out of these 4 chambers, 2 are atrium, 2 are ventricle. The upper part of the heart is called the atrium, whereas the lower part is called ventricle. But the upper and lower chamber divided by a septa, we can say. The middle part, the shaded one, that is called the septa. This septa divides the heart into 2 different parts, like right side and the left side. Again, there are 2 valves in between atrium and ventricle, so they will divide this heart further into this right part is divided into 2 parts, whereas the left part is divided into 2 parts. In the heart, the right side, if we talk about, between the right atrium, in the right atrium and right ventricle, there is a valve which divides the 2 compartments. That is called the tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. And over here, this valve is called bicuspid valve. This one over here, as I said, this is called the septum or septum. These 2 veins I have shown here, this one over here, that bring the blood from the upper body part, that is called superior vena cava. And this one, vena cava. Superior vena cava, during the respiration, what happens, the organ will get utilized all the oxygen which is present and will liberate carbon dioxide. Hence, the blood will get depleted with the oxygen and will get higher concentration of carbon dioxide. So, that blood is now called deoxygenated blood. Now you understand the term deoxygenated? Deoxygenated is what? It is the higher concentration of carbon dioxide than the oxygen, though that blood is called the deoxygenated blood. Now the deoxygenated blood, to bring the deoxygenated blood into the heart, there are 2 different ways. First, superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Superior and inferior. Superior vena cava brings the blood from the upper body part, whereas the inferior vena cava brings the blood from the lower body part. That blood now comes over here. The function we'll talk later, just we'll mark the diagram first. Now, this valve, bicuspid valve, both the valves are attached with the string-like structure within the heart, that is called tendons. The vessel which transfer the blood to the lung is called pulmonary artery. And this one over here is called pulmonary veins. This is aorta. As I said, you can start the function of the heart from the either side, from the right side or from the left side. We start with the right side. So we talk about the blood, the deoxygenated blood that from the different body part that comes into the right atrium. Now the right atrium will get contraction. As this right atrium get contraction, this will get switched. At the same time, the tendons will pull this valve inside at the lower side. So what will happen? Whatever the blood came into this compartment, this blood will directly flow into this compartment called right atrium, right ventricle, from right atrium to ventricle. So the blood which will now present into this. this blood is a deoxygenated blood. This compartment will get contraction. At this time what happens? When this compartment will get contraction, these tendons will get relaxed. When the tendons will get relaxed, they will close the valve, tricuspid valve. So during the contraction, there is no space of going the blood over here. Imagine if there is no valve, then what happened? The blood which came over here, during the contraction, the blood will backflow into the right atrium. Understand? So here, now this valve is closed at the time of contraction. And because of that, this blood will flow into this blood vessel. This blood vessel is divided into two branches. One will go at the right side of the lung and the second one will go at the left side of the lung. Deoxygenated blood which brought from the different body part, that will now go into the lungs to get oxygenated. They will remove the oxygen and give it back to the lung, and from the lung they will absorb the oxygen and bring back. So they will go into the lungs, get oxygenated and come back into the left atrium through pulmonary vein. Now the important thing over here is there is pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Pulmonary artery is the only artery which carry the deoxygenated blood. Otherwise, all artery in our body that carry only oxygenated blood. Pulmonary veins are the only veins that carry oxygenated blood, whereas all other veins that carries only deoxygenated blood in our body. Now the blood is over here in the left atrium. This left atrium, now it's the time for it to get contraction. This left atrium will get contraction and will get squeezed. So the blood which is present will flow in the left ventricle. At the same time, this valve, the bicuspid valve, that will get stretched and get open. So the blood will flow into the left ventricle over here. The oxygenated blood now into this compartment called left ventricle. Now this blood, when this compartment get contraction, this valve get closed. So this cannot go upper side into this compartment. Now here the pressure will build up. Due to that pressure, this blood, the oxygenated blood will flow into aorta. Okay, understand the process. This will get squeezed and this blood will go into the aorta. The valve which present both in pulmonary artery as well as the aorta are called semi-lunar valve. I will write over here. Called semi-lunar valve. Why the name is given like that? Lunar is something that something related with the moon. So the valve structure is somewhat like moon. That is why this name is given semi-lunar valve. Now this blood is flowing into the aorta. From aorta, they will further divide into the many arteries, and it will go into the different body part. Hope you understand the blood circulation over here. Now, see, look at this structure. There is a little thinner structure over here, the septa, and this side it is a thicker. Why it is so? Because this compartment, from this compartment, blood will flow into the pulmonary artery and it will go to the lungs, which are close to the heart. There is no longer way to go to the lungs. But from this compartment, the blood flow to the different body parts. Like from the heart, it will go to the toe of the leg, at the head also. So that have to travel a long path. So it has to create the higher pressure. As the path is longer, the pressure must be higher. So as this one get contraction, the higher pressure will needed. and due to the higher pressure, this will get more impact on this wall. So for the protection, or we can say the proper functioning of this compartment called the left ventricle, the septa is bit thicker in size. Okay. Now we will understand in the 10th class in your textbook, many times in the exam, it is the question is something like explain the double circulation of blood. Why it is called a double circulation? Because the blood which enter into the heart, that will go into the lungs and come back again into the heart. So the blood come back into the heart for the twice. Unlike other organisms like in fish and all, the blood will flow only one time. It's a single circulation of blood in those pisces, I mean in the fishes. But over here the blood, once it entered, it went into the lungs and came back into the heart, though it is the double circulation. Now double circulation, that words indicate there are two types of circulation, right? First circulation is called the pulmonary circulation. What is called? Pulmonary circulation. First one is called pulmonary circulation, and the second one is the systemic circulation. In the pulmonary circulation, the blood journey will get started from right ventricle to the lungs and left atrium. So we will write for understanding. Pulmonary circulation is a kind of circulation in which blood will flow from right ventricle to lungs and to left atrium. This is one kind of circulation. The second type of circulation is called systemic circulation. That means the blood will go into the body part and come back into the heart. From which body part it will go? Start journey. It will start journey from the left ventricle. So we will write left ventricle will go into body parts, or just like body to, and where it come back into the right atrium. Right atrium. Okay. Hope you understand the double circulation now. There are two types of circulation. First is the pulmonary circulation, and the second one is the systemic circulation. There are two types of circulation. At the same time, the blood comes into the heart for the twice, so it is called the double circulation. Understand? Okay, now we will move towards the second type of circulation, that is lymphatic circulation. If you have any doubt, just comment me below this video so I can understand what I have to explain further. Second type of circulation, that is called the lymphatic circulation. The transportation of minerals and nutrients and excretes and whatsoever that takes place in our body by two types of circulation, blood circulation and lymphatic circulation. Lymphatic circulation, to understand, you have to go little deeper. It is not there in your textbook, but for the understanding, you have to, if your idea are clear, if you know better, you can remember easily those things. So no need to mug up those things. Now we see the second type of circulation, that is called the lymphatic circulation. Look at this picture. Say for an example, the square part which I have shown over here, it is any organ. Okay? In the organ, there are certain cells, or we can say the tissue. Okay? The vessel which brings the blood to the tissue, we can say the oxygenated blood to the tissue, is called the artery. Artery divided into arterioles, and the arterioles they converted into, that finally form into blood capillaries. But this is shown over here is artery further divided into blood capillaries. Okay, these are the blood capillaries. They are very fine in nature. They are very small in size. The diameter is very small. Now this further join to the other blood capillaries, and that will finally reaches to the blood veins. That are second kind of blood vessels. These are blood veins. You can write over here blood. And this I shown inside is are blood capillaries. Blood capillaries. Okay, these are the tissues, or we can say the cells. This capillary form a net-like structure inside the organ. These are the blood capillaries flowing from the organ that comes from artery and join to the vein. Till this you understand? Okay. Here what will happen? This blood artery will bring the oxygenated blood. It has got some nutrient as well. This blood will flow inside this capillary. Now the capillary has a structure, a porous structure. They are a single epithelial structures. So the blood capillary are very thin, and it is made up of the single layered cell wall, and it is a porous structure. From there the nutrients or the oxygen molecules and some minor size protein will come outside. It's a type of filtration. Okay. This see again, the size of or the width of this artery is more. Now consider there is a big pipe with the water flowing, and if you attach or fix a narrow size pipe ahead the bigger size pipe, what will happen at that time? The pressure in the pipe will get increased or will get higher. So the pressure is higher. Suppose this is a pipe and suddenly you put another pipe, fix another pipe over here. Whatever the water is flowing, that will be pressurized, and with the pressure it will come out. What you see in the pitchkaris, okay, that is the same thing. In this blood vessels, the same thing happens. Now the blood is flowing, this capillary further divide in the smaller branches. As these branches are very small, the pressure will get increased. Now due to the pressure, whatever the blood components are there, they will start getting filtered, because the wall is little porous and single epithelial layer it has. So the blood particles will come out. Now what will happen? This blood particles comes in interstitial space, in intracellular space. Why it is intra? Because it is inside, in between the cells. That is why it is called the interstitial fluid, or we can say the intracellular fluid. So this fluid will filter. What will be there in this fluid? This fluid contains water. We can say plasma, because the blood is made up of plasma. The plasma will be here. Some smaller size proteins, and some white blood cells. Not all, some type of white blood cell will be present. This white blood cells has a particular kind of function that will be released inside this intracellular space. Now the blood has traveled into the intracellular space. From this intracellular space, it needs to be go back into the blood vein through this blood capillary. Now the pressure which is generated over here is called the hydrostatic pressure, and the liquid which came out in this organ is called the interstitial fluid. This interstitial fluid appears pale yellow, or we can say light yellow in color. It has got this kind of component. This is called the lymphatic fluid, or you can say the lymph. This lymph needs to go back into the blood vein. Once the filtrate came out, the plasma came out, there will be a bigger size cells will present like RBCs and some platelets and some other WBCs will be here in these capillaries. So other kind of pressure will be created, that is called the osmotic pressure. Due to this osmotic pressure, this fluid will go back from here, interstitial fluid from the cellular side to the capillaries. Now this fluid will flow back. Around 90% or more than 90% we can say the fluid will go back into this blood vein. But remaining 10% fluid will remain into this organ side, or interstitial fluid will remain there. This fluid needs to be transferred back into this blood veins. Okay. If not, then the fluid will get increased in the tissues and tissue will get swollen. So for that, for the collection and transport of this fluid, there is another system. It is called the lymphatic system. In this, there are another capillaries which are present. These capillaries get together and go back into this blood vein. This sort of capillaries, they will catch the interstitial fluid which is present into these tissues and transfer into these vessels. These capillaries are called the lymphatic capillary because it absorbs the lymph. Here blood capillaries and the lymphatic capillaries over here. This capillary has blood in the lymph in them. They will transport